Hello and welcome to the Games That Matter Week 14 recap video. I got a few games to get into here, and I'm going to try and jump right into it because I'm really excited. We're coming down to the final moments of the season. 1 week left in the season after this, and it is the Conference Championship week. So, jumping right in, we had the Friday games. Number 24, Virginia Tech at Virginia. Now, I picked Virginia Tech to win this game. They've had two consecutive shutouts coming into the game, gotten themselves to a 8-3 record at that point, and I thought they had the advantage here, but Virginia came out and surprised me. Virginia got the win at home, locked their spot in the ACC championship game. Next was number 17, Iowa at Nebraska. I had Iowa winning this one on the road, and they did, keeping their... they didn't really have a hope at the Big Ten championship, but keeping their hope at a potential BCS Bowl alive. Number 19, Cincinnati at number 18, Memphis. Now, I picked Cincinnati to win this game. They were on I believe, 7 or 8 game win streak coming in. They were 10-1, and I think it was 8 games win streak. And Memphis had been up and down all season, even though they also were 10-1. So it was interesting to see where it was going to go. I thought it was going to go Cincinnati's way, but Memphis pulled out the win at home, and it was leads to an interesting situation where their conference championship is a rematch this coming weekend. So we're going to see who's going to win the second time around. Next is number 20, Boise State at Colorado State. I picked Boise State to win this one. They did. They came away with a big win there and punched their ticket to their conference championship. Number 25, Appalachian State at Troy. I picked Appalachian State to win this one, and they did pretty handily. They get an 11-win season, their best regular season record since joining the Division I football in 2014. And they also got their 59th win since 2014. That is unbelievable for a school like this. Coming into the Sun Belt, it's one of those situations where schools that come in to Division I football tend to not do as well right off the bat. So for them to have 59 wins in their first 5 seasons is actually pretty remarkable. So on to the Saturday games. We had number 1, Ohio State at number 13, Michigan. I had Ohio State winning this game, and they did. Started out pretty close. Michigan and Ohio State went back and forth, but then in the second half, really, Michigan started to fall behind again, and it was a big win for Ohio State in the end. Next was number 3, Clemson at South Carolina. Clemson pretty much handled business in this one, kept their undefeated record intact, the longest active win streak in college football, and are looking to repeat as ACC champions again for, I think, the 4th season in a row. And they're looking to make the playoffs. Actually, it might be the 5th season in a row. But they're looking to make the playoffs again with a win. Next was number 4, Georgia at Georgia Tech. Georgia handled business, beat Georgia Tech pretty easily, like I thought they would. Now, number 5, Alabama at number 15, Auburn, the Iron Bowl. It was the highest scoring Iron Bowl in history of the Iron Bowl. I had Alabama winning this game. However, thanks to 2 pick sixes, Auburn comes away with the huge victory, and they have knocked Alabama pretty much out of contention. Actually, I'm going to say it, they're out of contention for the playoffs. There is no way they could make it in. Not at 10-2 without a conference championship. If it had been 10-2 without a conference championship and they lost to the 2 teams in the conference championship, there was more of a chance. But losing to Auburn who is also a 3-loss team. It just, there's too much against them at this point. Next was number 12, Wisconsin, at number 18, Minnesota. I picked Minnesota to win this one at home. They had game day there for the first time in school history, and I was riding the hype. But Wisconsin came out and shut the hype down. Wisconsin comes away with a huge win, punches their ticket to the Big Ten Championship, looking to rematch against Ohio State. Number 9, Baylor at Kansas. I had number 9 Baylor on the road, and they took care of business big time. Punched their ticket to the Big 12 Championship, where they will have a rematch with Oklahoma for the conference and a potential spot in the playoffs. Next was Rutgers at number 10, Penn State. I hit Penn State winning this one, and they did. They took care of business at home, finished out the season 10-2. Oregon State at number 14, Oregon. I had Oregon winning this game at home. They did punch their ticket to the Pac-12 championship game, where they will face off against Utah. I think this is riding the ship for Oregon. We'll see how they hold up next week, but I got that one right. Number 16, Notre Dame at Stanford. Now, I had Notre Dame winning this game on the road. They did. However, Stanford kept it close in the first half. Actually had the advantage for a lot of the first half. But Notre Dame came back, won it big in the second half. Notre Dame finishes the season 10-2. And they're looking to potentially place in a BCS Bowl as well. Texas A&M at number 2, LSU. I had LSU winning this game. They did pretty handily. They continue their undefeated season. They will be facing off against number 4, Georgia, in the SEC title game. Number 23, Iowa State at Kansas State. I had Iowa State winning this game on the road. I felt like they had a more solid season. However, Kansas State pulled off the upset at home and knocked Iowa State off. Colorado at number 6, Utah. I picked Utah to win this game. They did. At home, took care of business. They're going in, and if they can win their conference championship, they may have a shot at a spot in the playoffs as well. That also, which would be big, because it would be the first time they've been back. The Pac-12 has been back to the playoffs since Washington went in, I believe, the second playoffs. But also would be, if Utah wins, it would be their first conference championship since joining the Pac-12. Next was Florida State at number 11, Florida. This game started off pretty close, but Florida pulled ahead late, got the big win, and kept their season at 10-2, beating both in-state rivals this season and finishing in the top 10 right now. And last but certainly not least, number 7, Oklahoma at number 21, Oklahoma State. I had Oklahoma winning this one on the road. I felt like Oklahoma State had a good team, great running back in their stables, but I had Oklahoma winning this one, and they did. They pulled ahead in the second half and just didn't look back. So that was 14 of the 19 games correct this week. Puts me at a 73.7% correct rate on the week. I have 226 of the 271 games for my games that matter correct so far this season. That puts me at an 83.4% correct rate for the season. So that's it for the Week 14 recap, and because I did have time this week, I'm going to be splitting into the 2 videos. Although I do want to hear from you guys. What do you prefer? Do you prefer me to do the recap as a separate video or tagged on to the beginning of the first? Let me know in the comments below if you like what I'm doing. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys for the Week 15 Conference Champion Week predictions.